Well, we are back at the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles for at least one more case, because honestly, the game is just good. It's a good game. I'm enthralled with the storyline thus far and the gameplay. So we're back. The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, on to case number 2. Let's go. Yes, the adventure of the unbreakable speckled band. Let's get going. I always love the aesthetic of these kind of turn-of-the-century steamboats.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner, and he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
It's a snake. Okay. Pretty open and shut case then. 9th of January, 6:37 a.m. On board the steamship Burya. I wonder how much time has passed between last case and this one.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle.
Huh.
A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
What the?
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Sherlock Holmes. Why can't they just do Sherlock Holmes? Isn't he in the public domain these days? Yeah, whatever. Sherlock Holmes it is. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Wait. I can't move! Why am I... Please don't tell me I'm on trial for murder again! Oh, what the... Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now? Oh. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are the true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Da, we found you, and now you pay. Criminal! Am I being accused of murder again? How many times can this happen to one man in one lifetime? How long are you hiding in that tiny water, sorry? Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find how cold the ocean is, No! I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Oh, hi. Hey, Sasada. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Sasada, please. There must have been a misunderstanding. I know you and I, we've got a history of me being accused of crimes that I did not actually commit. So, clearly, you gotta have a bit more faith in me and my, innocence in this situation, which I have apparently found myself in. Mr. Sato? Wait. What did you just say? Take his life? Oh, please don't tell me it's, my colleague and friend. I did give him pretty bad odds at surviving to case 2. Where is he? Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know? You are a wolf in the sheep's pelts. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. His body? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. These handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No! Well, here we go again. Kazuma. It's just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. Yeah, I'm flexible. In more ways than one. You must be even less of a man than you look. I know I just made a joke, but you can't make it too. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend. More to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, and I think it won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes. But what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? I mean, I'm sure it gets dusty in there. Like, there's gotta be a chance, even if it is only remote. Then I'll be in for it, truly. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Won't that just make it even more conspicuous and therefore likely to be searched? Then I could stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How could this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England. Together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. You said before. You said you would admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow in the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susada-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. So, about Kazuma's death. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. Maybe they used, like, magnets to, like, lock it through the other side of the door or something, you know? I mean, that's conceivable, right? What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. What about that ventilation thing I'm literally looking at, like in the top left right now? Would that not be a valid means of entry? Anyways, or do you have some other explanation? I don't know, maybe with the ventilation looking thing in the top left that I'm staring at right now? No? Okay, I guess we'll get there eventually. This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge? Even despite the circumstances? Hey, I've got through pretty bad circumstances before. Please, Susada-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So, presumably that means there are no obvious external signs of injury then? That's true, yes. Well, I mean, I know he's a young, healthy guy, but, maybe he just keeled over of a heart attack or something, yeah? Maybe, people die from things that aren't murder all the time. So, about the incident, I'd like some further details if you can give them to me. Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presume that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please. Whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but I was sleeping at the time. He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far in this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Susada-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-san, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me, too. Trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes? Alright. My head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. So, I'm sure you're wondering how and why I'm here exactly. So I may have stown away, perhaps. Why even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and have been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma's cabin for so long without him noticing? Well, thing is, he did? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. Suppose that's never gonna happen now, but that was his wish. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? Did he know he was going to die and needed to bring someone with him to carry on his work and his legacy? I don't know. We'll see. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I, that you ought to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama he was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes. Maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Sasada-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stoneware on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Man, these two really must have known each other well. No wonder she's real angry at me for having allegedly killed her boyfriend. Let's see. So, about last night. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. That is the lamest alibi and excuse of all time. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. Then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes. I know it sounds unbelievable, really I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. For some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please forget it. Sada-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. The trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Can't take this! Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here. And I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied while whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Oh, sheesh. What the? That was a Susada takedown. I can tell. Susada what? What martial art form is that? It looks like it might have been reminiscent of like a judo throw or something. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to, procure said evidence if you don't give me a chance to investigate first? I need to get a chance at discovery before I can prove my case in the court of law, do I not? Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susada-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime. Let's see, I've got a university collar pin, proof that I'm a student at the Imperial Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. Could a university student have perpetrated this crime? Dare I say, university students, especially those at Yume, are the absolute height of morality and decency. There's no way a student of the esteemed Yume University could commit such a crime. Now, as part of the paper seal, Kazuma would stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. So if we examine this. Because if it was on the door, and if it was still on the door when I was found, like, in the wardrobe, then, like, how would I have put it back on the door if I killed him and went in the wardrobe? Alright, so it's like a double locked room mystery. This is the paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. Do you expect the Russian crew to be able to read that? He said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it. So we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Okay, anything else of note? We've got adhesives, it seems. You can see the remnants of the glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste to use instead. But to a stoic like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as I possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any. Okay. So it's gotta be this, because if this was on the door... So, like, if the scenario is as follows, I get my rations or whatever, go into the wardrobe, Kazuma puts the thing on the paper seal on the wardrobe. Let's suppose I murder him. I come out of the wardrobe, paper seal presumably comes off the wardrobe, falls off or something once it opens, right? I kill Kazuma, go back in the wardrobe, and then how's the paper seal getting back on the wardrobe door, right? You can't put the paper seal back on the outside from the inside. Therefore, I couldn't have killed Kazuma because I needed him alive to put the seal on my door. Evidence. Tell me, when I was discovered in that wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck on over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so, because I always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah! Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. And let's say I infected him with a long-acting poison or slow-acting poison, right? So, poison him, get inside the wardrobe, he puts it on, and then only later the poison actually kills him, at which point he's dead outside the wardrobe, and I'm alive in the wardrobe with the thing on. But we won't mention that. I mean, sure, it's an exculpatory theory, but she doesn't need to hear about that. Well, even if you're sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me. I'm sorry. No. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you'd use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. Conjuring isn't like magic? Really? Have you ever heard of this little thing called Occam's razor, Susato-san? You should look into it. It's, quite the useful tool in your intellectual arsenal. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Susato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh, I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Hey, if there's one thing that is proven about me, it's that I hate anyone who does something like, say, for example, drinking evidence and then smashing a bottle on the floor and then somehow not getting any, like, not even being held in contempt by the court for such a flagrant display of, just terrible court behavior. Obviously blatantly illegal, flouting the whole system. Yeah, I'm still salty about that. Sue me. I'm a lawyer. In this game. Right. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Okay, I will start with some examination. Okay, we could probably talk to that guy. Oh, well, I mean, let's start with the chalk outline. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine. Now, question. Did Kazuma know Russian? Like, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I wasn't aware of him knowing Russian. So this already seems mildly suspicious. Now, granted, he might know Russian, in which case he wrote in Russian to make it so his message had the greatest likelihood of being seen and actually interpreted correctly. But if he doesn't know Russian, then that's very suspicious. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments. Was he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruto-san. What? Then what language is it? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Oh dear, that won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah, yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruto-san? Ah, yes. arrows. I'm sure you're careful to look all around using the D-pad, aren't you? Now let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Okay, let's talk to this man. Hello. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. You might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night... Oh man, what a night it was. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary? At all? Niet! Of course not. Now back to the corner of a room and make silence. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there. He seems a little flustered. What the heck is this thing? These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burya. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Now, I'm not sure if this falls under the weapons category, but is that not a katana? Right there on the floor? Bottom right? What? Why are you staring at me? I'm not a pet! Get that out of your mind! Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object? Or a pet? Do you understand how degrading it is to ask such a question like that to me? Honestly, I'm not sure I think we're barely acquaintances, but I don't think our relationship with each other is going to ever recover from this offense. I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Okay, so on the topic of dangerous objects. Hello. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it, despite the rules of the ship. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I don't have a katana, and therefore am as good as being a ginger. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. What sort of weird poster thing is this? Seigi. Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his art. Yet you, can you look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can! I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Okay, I'm not innocent of that particular offense, but I mean, they'll drop those charges if I just, slip him a 20 or something, right? How you're gonna be bringing that up, are you? I can't win. Women, am I right? Anyways, let's see. The trophy. Was it the murder weapon, perhaps? The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. It's called Being on the Ocean. You ever heard of this thing called turbulence? The tumult of the raging seas and the open ocean? And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Cosmo-san was doing his morning sword training. Do you think? I seriously doubt it? Then perhaps... it was you, Naruto-san, in a fit of rage. No? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could any of these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Hey, that's tampering with the crime scene! That could have been a key... we had better have had a picture of that, because that could have been a key detail in this case. About this trunk. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Large enough for a person, perhaps. Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, have I ever told you about my trip to Beijing, as well as Seoul? Right, it was a beautiful little trip. That case, I lived at it for a solid year and a half, as I was backpacking or case packing across Asia. Yeah. Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that very case. Ah, yes. I see it says, "This way up" in Japanese. Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over, and I was tossed to the floor in here. It was dreadful, really. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown, so there's that, at least. Okay, we already investigated the ink. What's this? Like a weird scuff mark. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. And I wonder where the other half is. The glass is such a beautiful color. You mean it just so happens to be the color that you are wearing, like, across your entire outfits? Don't flatter yourself too much, Susato-san. Looks like a cute little Natsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? Is it yours, Susato? The mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. The killer was a bricklayer! I've investigated thoroughly, but I can't find anything out of place. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately there weren't any hit coins in the lighting fixture. All you Layton players will know what I'm talking about. That's my dinner from last night. A roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? There's a table right there. Ryusuke, I'm starting to worry about your actual, like, mental health and sanity. Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe we're going more towards the pet scale of the pet to dangerous item, scale. I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Cosmo-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Please don't tell me he ended up, like, dying of malnourishment because he refused to eat the chicken on board the ship.